I'm sitting over here today because then you get the backdrop of the winter wonderland of the frozen tundra. Because hell has really frozen over now. It is serious. This was hell, and now it's frozen. So you do the math. Anyways, I'll probably be really all over the place today because I'm just being flooded with stuff. Like everything I think, I always say think. It's not thinking. I just keep getting just flooded with things. So one of the things, so I was had some music on and I was dancing. Sometimes the song comes on, you just have to dance. And so I was dancing, and that is always such a good time to connect because if you connect with your soul when you're dancing, then it's like you're connecting with the heavens. And when you connect with the heavens, you get insights, you get like little downloads or whatever. So I was dancing around, and I was thinking, like, it's funny because when you're dancing, you feel like, everything just feels so right. But if I was looking at myself, I could look like a total spaz out there. Like, I don't know, but it made me start thinking about that. Even though I'm by myself at my house, Stella enjoys my dancing. It still made me think about, like, I wonder what I look like while I'm dancing or something. And then it made me start thinking about, what I look like. And I started thinking about, like, I think my coloring's like a Spanish person. Like, if you were to put all the different people up, like, don't have very much color right now in my skin because it's like frozen tundra. I'm sure you could take a Spaniard and put them in some place where they get no sun, and they would get a lot lighter too. Because whenever I'm out in the sun, I get super dark. So I was thinking, and that's probably from just sun damage over time, but I get really dark. But, with my coloring and stuff, I was thinking, I bet you I could just go to Spain and just, if I was fluent in speaking Spanish and fit in. But I don't know, I think my body type is different than theirs because I'm way more lanky. So I don't know, really fit in at all. But when I was thinking about that, it made me start thinking about, what I look like, and then, my genes and stuff like that. And I was thinking about my two grandpas. I know the one, him and his family, when he was a little kid, came. So both his parents were from the Ukraine. And it seemed like they were escaping somewhere. I don't know all of the story. I can't, even if I did know it, I can't remember everything. But it seemed like that they were escaping, and they were in the Ukraine. And they were trying to escape from something, like maybe in Russia or something. So he came with both his parents when he was a kid. And my other grandpa, both his parents were Scottish. So he, and I don't know if he came over when he was just a baby or they had him once they got here, but they came over. They got married and stuff in Scotland. And then, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know for positive if he was born here. But, both his parents were Scottish, and both of the other ones were Eastern European, maybe Russian or something, I'm not sure. And I always see them as being from the Ukraine. And it could have been somewhere else in the Ukraine that they were escaping from tyranny or whatever. But so when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about, my grandma's, it was a lot more of a hidden kind of thing, like, and like I've talked about before, my one grandma was, it was embarrassing to be with an immigrant back then. So I was thinking, and I told you, just like they'll show me this whole thing. So when they show it, this whole thing, so it's just kind of like how I interpret it. But so the people, they were kind of embarrassed and stuff like that over being with an immigrant or whatever. Like they were trying to sell something for America. But really, who was coming to America was a lot of like the farmers and the people that were trying to escape. Like if you watch Outlander, I think it was called Outlander, the one where it shows in Scotland. I watched it because the Scottish connection, but it's really, really good. But it showed like during the war and stuff like that was going on over there when they were getting attacked. I'm pretty sure it was the Royals, as usual, going in and attacking other ones. And so they were trying to take over, and they were fighting like the farmers and stuff. It seems like they were called the Kings. I can't, it's not the Kingsmen or something. Can't remember, but it was like the Scottish army guys. They were something with the mountains and stuff, and farmers. They were, guys who were out there working the land to survive. And so a lot of those people were the ones who came over, and they were escaping tyranny. And when you look at tyranny in this reality that we understand, right? Because who knows? I'm pretty sure Pelosi was probably there. I bet, and for sure the factard, he was probably there. He was probably directing him. He was the one who was coming up with the potions. But so these people who were all coming over here trying to escape from the royals, and the royals used religion, don't forget, the missionary kind of thing. They used missions and missionary to kind of invade spaces and go in, and that they needed to get everybody to turn to Jesus or something. They needed to create Christians, and that was a huge war. This war has been going on with the Christians, the Palestine. They've kept these religious wars going, and they have, the side that they push, and it's all about control and dominance, and it's been the whole time. But when you just think about just this with the settlers and stuff, right? So there was a certain group of people that were escaping tyranny, trying to come over here. And at the same time, they had, being attacked from this side. Here, they've got their missionary people who are taking the indigenous people and taking their lives and stuff. And, they were murdering. They were creating fear with the other people. They were creating these scenarios with fear and all of the same stuff. It's the same playbook they've been using this whole friggin' time. So they are invading the indigenous people and killing them, taking all sorts of stuff. They're creating chaos and fear and tension with both groups. And I'm sure that they were going in under, wearing the costume of one and invading, I wouldn't put nothing past these people. These people are far, far more sophisticated, always have been. We've always been the more gullible ones, the more just trusting, just trying to live our lives. We were animals, animals with clothes on. We just want to live our lives like the deers and stuff. Like you just could go and you could put them somewhere else. Well, they still just want to go out and eat the grass. So, animals want to be animals. So, that's what we want to do, is just go out and live our life. And so they, were destroying that for people and telling them, like, you have to live this way, you have to live that way. And with the people coming over, the immigrants and stuff, they were creating so much tension. Like I talked about some of those places where they were at, and they had so much fighting amongst the different, not different races, the different kind of religions and different kind of lifestyles, really. Like you got the Italians and the Jews and the Irish, and they all called each other like rude names and stuff. They always had slang terms. It was a lot of tension. Hold on, let me let her out. Okay, I'm busy trying to talk, you know that. Don't go out and start barking. Man, she's having a day. Just whining all freaking morning. That's what got me up. And whenever she wakes me up in a dream, I always feel some more out of it. It probably is more just connected because I'm out of it. I'm not fully here. Okay, so anyway, so they had the people coming over from the other places, and they're trying to escape, and they think, you know, they're going somewhere where they're going to have more freedom. And there was a lot of them that went, and when you watch that show Outlander or whatever it's called, it showed a lot of them were going up in the mountains, in the Appalachian Mountains and stuff. And I had seen a movie, I'm pretty sure it's called Songbird, and it was showing a lot about the history of the mountain people and stuff, and it was really cool. And it was about the music and stuff and the uniqueness. And so you had, because it was a blending of these different cultures. But see, in the cities, in the inner cities, there was like fighting and tension. And I'm sure out in some of the farming communities, I'm sure, you know, they have the Hatfields and McCoys kind of situation, you know, people, you know, were fighting all the time. But that is what, you know, souls come in to learn and see. And so, anyways, so you had these immigrants all coming over, and they're killing all these people. And as these people are coming over, they're making them feel shame or something, because people were ashamed of who they were, and they were trying to kind of destroy that and take that out of people. And you know, if you and the settlers were bringing so much culture, but see, they were trying to take their culture away from them, just like what they still do, you know, like, people, the other people in the room don't want you to speak another language, but really it's just them creating tension so that, you know, we turn on each other and stuff like that, because who really gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck what the hell you're talking about. Go talk whatever you want to talk. It's your business. So, but they create this tension, and then people who latch onto that, you know, especially the super compliant who want, you know, we got to follow the rules, people. The whole monitors of life. These people who are left, kind of, you know, like, come on, people, get with the program. And they are, you know, but that's their role. It's, you know, and we can't judge, because who knows what I mean, maybe their role is just to wake you up. They know way more than you. You know, you just don't know, really, in this whole arena of what's going on, because everything is such an illusion. It's so fake and phony. But, you know, when had these people coming over and trying to, you know, take the culture out of them, and then the indigenous people there trying to take the culture out of them, and then you see, like, this has been going on this whole time. This is not something they just came up with. So you have to ask yourself, like, how, like, and I'm telling you, some of these people were around then. They've been doing this. These people are not just, you know, using organic red fluid to survive, and then just to add a couple years on the end. This is the vampire world. This is hell, this place. So, anyways, I think that these people are, you know, they've just been doing it this whole time. And oh my gosh, this is one that, hold on. I hear you, Stella. Come on. Okay, I'm still talking. I'm not done. You've been gone 2 seconds. It may have seemed like a lifetime to you, but it was literally less than a minute. So, we have no concept of time. Anyways, so what I was going to say was, you know, this whole thing, and them creating all of this animosity. They're doing it right now. Like, there's so much against the settlers and stuff. The settlers who came, who were funneled into America, were the people they were fighting against. They funneled them here just to come in the back door, you know? They've been coming in the back damn door the whole time. That's why I even said, you know, when you're sitting in here with a room full of people who are oblivious, you're sitting there saying, hey, they're coming in the window. They're just like, oh, did you see what was on the TV? It's just like, oh my God, you guys, wake up. And, and the whole thing is that it is just waking up. That's all it is, because this has been going on. We think, oh, this just started. No, this has been going on. Consciousness just hadn't woke up. This is about conscious waking up. And when you wake up and you just start realizing like how nefarious and insidious this really was. And, you know, right now I'm trying to slam like the settlers and I don't even remember what they call them. There's so much attacks on and TikTok and stuff about that stuff. What do they call those people? It wasn't the settlers. It starts with a C, it seems like. I don't know. It was something, you know, it's just the same thing where back in the day where people of all these different cultures were like, oh, you spick, oh, yeah. I don't even remember all the names. Like, every one of them had a rude name to call each other. And then there became a point in our culture, and I was alive during the time. I saw it happen where it started being like, you know, we really shouldn't call a Polak, you know, maybe on all in the family, because it was just so fucking rude that it just brought that to the surface, because, you know, he really showed how vulgar it is to be so judgmental and rude like he was. I don't know, but I remember when people start being like, we shouldn't really call someone something like that. Like, there was even a period of time where it seemed like it was kind of rude to say Jew, but then the Jewish people kept saying it. And I don't know. I think that each group has to say what is an acceptable term, but then they have to also say, hey, we're not using it either. That's one thing. But, you know, it's just me and my crazy talk. So, anyways, when you think about, you know, how long they've been doing that and really what they've been doing to just funnel people into a place, get them to doubt themselves, to give up their culture, to give up who they are, to be ashamed of themselves, to just try and fit in all the time, this fitting in. That is just such a way to direct your attention, and such a way to direct your, you know, to guide you into who you are. That's the creation of the parameters that create you. They're creating is their building blocks, and then they've been doing it this whole freaking time since the beginning of this world that they've got going. However, this reality works. Which one thing is too is, you know, in my hall where there keeps being so much traffic, and there's always people watching me from my hall. And one thing is when the power went out, that I think it seemed like the first time that the power went out since I was recording, because I started recording, even though there was no power, I could use my phone. You know, there was power on my phone. So it gave me something to do. So I was recording, but I started seeing like there was things flying around me, like, I don't know, like sprints or something. I don't know, a lot of fast moving energy, and it was going. And I even put it on some TikToks, and then there's people, oh, that's dust. Like, I've never seen dust change direction and fly up, look at you, and go down and go up, go around you. It's like, man, that is some smart ass dust. But anyways, it seemed like it was really coming through the hallway. And that one time when I did mushrooms, you know, it was like way, whew, God, that was intense. Tense experience. But when I was looking out the window, and it was like this golden path opened up, and all of a sudden I thought, I'm in the magic path in the forest. That's why I've seen fairies and stuff. I'm in the magic path or something. And then that one time when my daughter and here, when we were getting along this one day, and we were having fun and we were laughing and stuff, and the TV started talking to us, started answering. It was weird. And I was like, oh my God, we've opened a portal. And I said, oh my gosh, we're on the magic path. Maybe it's easier because we've opened a portal. But anyways, my whole thing is now all of these busy traffic stuff going in my hall, then I started being like, oh, you know, maybe it's the magic path or something. Because last night there was, I don't know, so there's just a lot of stuff going on in my hall. And so I was, in that one time when it started vaporizing or materializing, like I could see the form of this being, whatever. And then it just was, you know, put out the information. I was just observing. It wasn't doing anything. And I so these ones that were going, all the time. Every time I go in my bathroom and I'm like drying my hair and stuff, I feel like, oh, they just gather around the door to watch. Like, oh, what is happening here? All the time. It's trippy. And so I put out the thing of like, what is going on? Like, is everybody here to observe? And then it was like, no, some don't even have the awareness. They're just in another reality. It is me who is moving into the awareness of the other realities and being able to see them even if I'm not in them. And so I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense to me because of even when my eyes have been getting bad, I said I've started seeing things like it breaks up the illusion of what is created around me when you can't see it. And so I already was seeing, like I said before, it was like I started seeing like, this is like a honeycomb or something. Like it's so much different than what we think it looks like. It's like it looks so different, and then they turn on the lights and they make it look like they want. Everything is like a hologram, an illusion or something. It's hard to explain, but it is like we're in a video game. It is like that some of us are waking up and we're realizing it. And, another thing that too is like with our eyes, our eyes, when they say it's the window of the soul, it is because it is the windows for the soul. So the soul can look out and see, because the soul can recognize another soul that it knows with the eyes. It's the eyes that connect, that they know, because otherwise, if the soul isn't looking at the eyes, the soul is just in the heart space, right? It doesn't have as much concern about what is out there like we do, because we're caught up in the illusion, because we're the avatar and we're all caught up in the game. But the soul is much more in there, like in that movie Inside Me, I think it was called, where there was the little girl and she's going through her experience, but inside of her it's showing everything that's going on and how busy they are and what they're doing. And that is more like what your soul is doing. And like, when I was talking about like inside the circuit board, as our souls and stuff are coming to life and all this stuff is coming on, they're in there like monitoring, managing all that, like an inside me. So they aren't as concerned about just, looking out and seeing like what you're looking at, what is part of the experience. They're only concerned about what you're learning from the experience, how you're feeling, what is expanding, looking for your roadblocks. And that's one thing too, is like people think they can get away from their soul or something, but your soul is you. It's already outsmarted you. It knows what your problems are, and it's always going to make you face them, and it's always going to give you an opportunity, and it knows how to, come in and bring it in so it is less direct or something, and you can absorb information better. So anyways, you can't get away from yourself, but that is how souls can recognize one another, is like your eyes, and then it like triggers something inside. And there was another thing too, about the triggering memories. Oh, let me think. Oh, I'm telling you, there was so much stuff. I was being flooded with information. I was like starting to feel like overwhelmed. Like, I'm not going to be able to get all this. And you can get all caught up in like, you have a brain injury, can't remember anything. And, you can roadblock yourself with that. And, it takes practice kind of to relax and just let the information come in. And, they'll keep giving it. A lot of times I block my own self out of my own feelings. Even if I can make stuff sound like it's easy, it's work. I mean, it's work to transform yourself out of this, codependent, ego-driven rat race. There's a process to breaking free from that system, and but it has a good ending. But it is, it is being on top of a lot of stuff that is different. So, even if I say stuff and it makes it seem like it's easy, there's challenges every day. There's always a challenge if you're trying to be a better person. You got to be looking at yourself and looking at what you think and what you say and how you say it and how you feel and why you feel it and all of that stuff. And then, you know, it's not scary anymore because you've healed your wounds, so you're not scared of that anymore. You're not blocking yourself. You're just kind of free fluid going, you know, absorbing yourself. But yeah, it's trippy because the eyes are really so the soul can see out, I think. You know, I mean, it can see outside, like it can recognize, it can pick up energy and stuff. But there's a connection that a soul knows through the eyes. And so as the soul is going through there, you know. Anyways, that was kind of trippy. But one of the things too, well, I'll start talking about this other thing and maybe the other thing will come to me. Because there was like so many different things. Oh, one of the things too, when my family was, because my aunt and my sister did the 23andMe thing, and I've been like, oh, no. And now what else come out, you know, that it was just a DNA grab. You know, you're going to have a freaking clone of yourself out there, maybe 10, I don't know. Maybe they'll just make them and use them in a lab and experiment on them, who knows. Not gonna be good. It's not good. No, it's not good at all. So, anyways, one of the things is yesterday. So my friend sent me this tape. I think probably everybody was getting it yesterday. I don't know. She said it was someone had sent it to her. A few people had sent it to her. She said everybody was sending it around. So she sent it to me. And I watched the whole thing, or listened to the whole thing. It was 3 hours. And it was a Joe Rogan podcast. And I think it just aired. I don't really know anything about that guy. I always thought he was kind of like, I don't know, the Man Show or something. I was just never paid any attention to him. And then there was, you know, when they were doing a lot of the sweeping on the censorship, there was some stuff that went on with him, and then I knew that I think he was kicked off of YouTube, and then he went on to Spotify or something. I'm not really sure all of his stuff. And then, but most recently, you know, when they started coming out and saying, oh, he goes to the vet instead of a doctor kind of situation, then you can see like, okay, they're throwing him under the bus. I mean, that's what they do. If you speak the truth about anything, the fucking media is the watchdog, tear your ass up, throw you under the bus, chew you up, throw you out to the public after they've called you every name and, you know, torn apart your character. Then they throw you out there so that the people who are all brainwashed with trigger words know what to do with the trigger words then. It's maddening. But, so I didn't, you know, it just wasn't my person. I didn't get all like, oh, drama, I gotta go see what it's all about. Like I see a little bit about, you know, I mean, obviously he was speaking about something they didn't want talking about. Like that is, I've already lost 3. Hopefully I don't lose this one. If I do lose this one, I guess I'll try, I don't know, like Rumble or another one I always see people talk about. It starts with a P, I think. But I think there'll be some more coming, you know, but, you know, they're doing everything they can to keep us from waking up. So, and anyways, so back to the Joe show. So, you know, and I never knew, like, if he was a good guy or bad guy. There's a lot of people, it's hard to be able to tell if they're a good guy or bad guy. And, you know, like I was saying yesterday, because some of them are pretending to be one way when they're really the other way. It's very, but it all has to be done a certain way. It's all strategic. It's all like a chess game or something, like outsmarting one another, making plays. But they do use a lot of characters, like double agents. That's what makes me think of double agents. So, anyways, the show thing, I wasn't sure about his thing when I went in to watch it. I had heard I think a couple of times, maybe a while back, where I thought he had done some episodes where I thought, oh, maybe he's a conspiracy theorist. Maybe he's like trying to expose some of the truth. But I really don't know anything about his show. But on this one, he had this guy on who is the one who invented, or at least was on the team. It seems that he was the master planner of this, the 3 letters. If you go backwards, A, N, and then the other letter would be an R. So he, you can go in and watch the episode. It's on Spotify. I don't think that they are taking stuff down, but I don't know. I mean, it depends probably on what you're saying. And this was very, I mean, if something was going to get taken down, I think this would be one of them. And so this guy, and the media is completely attacking him for the same thing, because once he started seeing like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't making any sense, is it? And started speaking out, he went under full-on attack. He's got lawyers and stuff, though, because he's got money to do that. And so he's fighting back, but he's exposing a lot of stuff. And so it is very interesting what he says, especially if you're, really focusing on that kind of thing about those. But the thing that when I was watching it, it was kind of bothering me a little, because I keep talking about this. Like, people are waking up, but they're waking up to what they're focused on. Just their one thing they're focused on. They're not waking up to this whole thing. So these people who are just discussing and tyranny and MSM and why are they doing this and all of that stuff. And he said that he's in like huge groups now with tons of doctors. I think he said one was like 1,600 doctors or something, and lawyers and stuff, same thing. So many lawyers are, I think if you really got a big case, you can get a pro bono right now, easy, because so many are seeing that, this is rigged. There's something going on here. So all of these people who were kind of more of our, I'm not going to say superior or our societal elites, but these people who were in a different station in life, kind of. They weren't as deep in the struggle as some of the rest of us. They are starting to really see and question things, So it is a huge wave, that's really, really super significant for these people to be waking up, even though they're just, focused on the one thing or maybe a couple of things, but they aren't seeing the whole thing. And especially when it comes to doctors and stuff, a lot of those are all like science-based and stuff. They don't really think of like a soul and spiritual and nature and healthy, like that kind of. They don't come at things that way. They come at things more of a chemicals and, science and what we can control, and they've got constant ethical questions. And he was talking about that too, because there's a big one right now that's going to come up, and it's going to be the doctors who knew, and they still said they're going to be held accountable. I mean, the trials that went on that started with an N and then had a Berg at the end, it's going to be a repeat of that. We're going full circle, kind of, that energy. So there's going to be all of that is going to happen again. And, we're headed for that. And, but, when I was watching it, just is kind of like, there's so many things people are waking up to, but they're just not grasping it all. They're not seeing the whole thing. They're not understanding what this has to do with consciousness and what it has to do with, this spiritual ascension that is occurring on the planet and stuff. It's just very limited over what they see and understand. So, anyways, if you are interested in that stuff, it was very good. I mean, it was 3 hours, and I was watching it the whole time. Oh, I did take a break on it because Cliff High also came on. He was live on David, and I kind of just wanted to see what he said about, because he's the one who reads the energy off of something about the computers. It's something with the AI. He can read the energy like there's rhythms and algorithms or whatever. And so he was saying he had given some dates over some stuff, that was going to go down. And I guess he's on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter. He's, a lot of people like hang on his every word, it seems, but he's got a lot of big people who follow him. He's very popular. And so I was listening to some of the stuff he said, and he says the same thing as me. Something big is going to happen. David Wilcock said it when he was talking about I've heard him say it a bunch of times. The Book of One, this Cliff High. I mean, there's something big is going to happen. And with the Book of One, they talk more about the harvest, like the big energetic thing. And I don't know, it could be whatever is going to wake everybody up, all at once, could be the thing. I think that's going to set the energy in motion to create the next thing that's going to come, because this is all of us are doing all of this. We are the ones who are taking a stand. We are the ones saying this isn't acceptable. We are the ones saying we want our freedom. It's us doing it. It's us waking up and taking a stand in our own lives and noticing, what's happening around us and, being aware of it. So he was talking about, he said there's a bunch of dates, like a whole bunch in January, he said, where there's a big, like, energetic storm kind of thing, where it looks like there's a big emotional thing that happens for people. And then he said that the 20th or 22nd or something like that, he said it looked like there was something really big that was going to happen. But he can't tell, he doesn't know. And it could be very centralized, just like what I was saying about the thing with every 18 years, the planetary alignment, and how it was a Hiroshima, and it was 9/11, like all these different things, really bad occurrences that happen. And so thinking like, oh, maybe this will be the big thing that will happen, but it could have very well just been very centralized. And since they're not telling us what's happening in different places, thousands of people could have died and we would not know at all. But since that's their hope, and that's their end game, that's the results they want, because things have gotten out of control. They can't control us anymore. But energetically, they've lost, because it is the end of their rule, because we're moving into the age of Aquarius. I mean it's written. There's no going back. There's no changing it. So anyways, him saying that there was this stuff that's going to be coming, hopefully, because I do think that something is going to happen. And he said, and he kept saying that in 2022, it looked like we were all going to be coming together. And also that was, I swear, in Allison Coe and her her QHHT stuff that she's been posting, I feel sure that and the stuff that David Wilcock said about the sun, when the stuff with the sun flashes or something. You'd have to go in and watch the episode where he explains it. But all of them keep saying that 2022, we would be coming together more. It would be a lot more about healing, but there will be a lot of anger and stuff that will be associated with healing. But still, it gives us, a lot of hope to really go into this year and have a new kind of energy, because I think most of us feel like we're ready for a new kind of energy. That other energy was stagnant. We're all holding our breath and waiting for something to happen. And now it feels like, okay, we're going to make this happen. We're going to be the change. We're going to just, our own self, just start taking command of our own lives and our own existence, our own futures. And I think that we're going to be a lot of shifting towards that. But that is what is the part of the transition that we want to be in, right? We want to get through this part of releasing and purging out all of this old rotten shit. And so, we can move into the age of Aquarius. So any transition that is more centered on what we want and moving towards our goals is better. And I feel like that this year is going to be a big shift towards that. And I don't know how long things are going to take. I mean, this has gone so long, way longer than what I thought it would go on. So I don't know. But when you read the energy too. You can see, like, people are going to be demanding justice. It's not going to be like this stuff can just go away anymore. No, people are going to be demanding justice. People are going to be standing up for what's right and what's wrong. And that energetically is going to be more available to us because it's like it's written in the stars. It's going to happen. So, so many people are fighting all of this transition so much and are in so much fear of it and scared about people transitioning and all of this stuff that is occurring. But it is all so that we can, wake up to the truth, because the truth will set you free. But it will also, it's our creation of our new world that we're going to be creating. And, we don't want any of that toxic stuff. And one thing too is I was thinking, it's kind of funny. I was feeling kind of like, what was it? I always feel like I got to go like Legion. Like, where was I coming from when I went off on this? And I think I was thinking about, like the guy, the neighbor. And I'm not just saying like he's shallow or something. I mean, he could see a lot of things maybe that he thinks like we have a lot in common, dogs, we both like music, but he's old musician, like Grateful Dead kind of musician. And, he can't hear well. I want to be with somebody who can hear me. I want to be with somebody who we can talk and have deep conversations and stuff like that. Like, I'm looking for a soul connection kind of situation, not just like, oh, someone to fill my time with. I'm not about that life. And anyways, so I'm not saying like, he's shallow or whatever. I mean, he could look at me and be like, oh, she's a rocker chick with all her tattoos. She's like into the music. But I mean, most people think like I'm a drug addict or something. I don't know. But really, I see myself as like a warrior princess from the angelic realm or something, who would not be compliant to this world. And, I feel kind of like I am like an ambassador that's come from the supernatural world and has come into this world to, like, if it was in a movie, has come in to bring this information to help people to understand about the supernatural world. Because, I think that there is a lot of, where they want to, they just really want to keep religion going, I think. They don't want you to understand that there's more than that, and that you are more than that. So I was thinking, it feels kind of like, you're coming from some supernatural world. And that was another thing too with the people who've lived out in the mountains for a long time. Because when I was thinking about all of this stuff, and I was thinking about like the Appalachian people, and it, of course they had to label them and really beat them down, and try and make them out to be really ignorant. But even in that movie Wrong Turn, where it shows these people who have stayed out of the system, they had to make it like, oh, they became cannibals, because the freaking other ones are. But they made like that's what they were. But really, they're the people who are lived out in the mountains generation after generation are resilient. I mean, they are people who can take care of themselves and survive. They're survivors. And another thing too is that since they are out there, because when they were building this concrete jungle, it was kind of like they swept the supernatural into a corner, just like how they represented in the movies. They just kept pushing them further and further. And when you go out there in the mountains, like in the Appalachians, I told you that's where my friend had seen Bigfoot for the first time. Well, her first time. It was the first time I ever really knew of them. I think that there was a lot of movies and stuff, but there was so many sightings back then in the 70s and 80s. Like even here, you can go into their picture library, and there's a picture library where people were catching pictures of him back then here. Because here where I'm at, he's on the list. You're not allowed to shoot him. That just seems so funny. He doesn't exist. You couldn't shoot him because, he's more of a supernatural. So anyways, they've been, scooting everything, with their concrete, unfeeling world and pushing all of nature into a dark corner. And a lot of those people who live in the forest and live out in these places where they've been pushed out into, they all know that all of this supernatural is real. Like people, have respect for what they can't see and hear. Know that there's other beings living out there in the forest. Know that you're not the highest on the food chain. There's a lot of people who have that awareness of the other realms, the other worlds that are around us. But it seems funny because people are survivors. I feel like they know what's up, but it's always these societal norm restriction, like their paradigm, the tools that they give, or the stuff that they tell us to build ourselves with, that those people don't. So then they have to be like, no. Just like when I was growing up, how they made like the Amish people were so crazy, and it's like, dang, I wish I would have known more about like the Amish. Like I wish I would have recognized that the TV was programming, and to be independent, don't use their power, and stay with the clean foods and stuff. But it was something that we had to learn as a society. We had to see like, oh, you give them too much and they'll poison you. Give them too much string, they'll just poison you and kill you. They're putting arsenic in on all the rat traps that they've got in this. But so many of these things, it just makes it so, where you just see the experiments all over the place. The doctor on the Joe show, he was talking about some of the things that are going on in other countries and stuff. And when you hear him explain it, it is like they've got their experiments going on all around us. They always have. And, it's just us being oblivious is why they can conduct the way they did. But waking up to it's a very creepy world to wake up to, I'll tell you. And it is like you just want to scream at everybody, hurry, wake up, we're in danger. And everybody's like, oh, be quiet, you're crazy. I'm trying to sleep here. Shut your mouth. So anyways, seems like there was one other thing too. Hopefully I've got all of those things kind of making sense, what I've been saying. But it seemed like there was something else I was going to say. It was about it probably should just be a different one. I think that was a lot. Anyways, so have a great day, and just work on yourself. If you need to go in and just keep looking up stuff and seeing it, so that then that's part of your process. Go with it. Don't shut yourself down or try and follow anybody else's rules. Follow your own direction. And if you need to see this and you need to see that so that you can make sense of it, then do it. And because everything is collapsing. I've said this all along. This is the collapse of their world, and it's all going to collapse. And those of us who can survive, it's endurance. Right now, I was thinking, it feels like I'm out there, running a relay. I got my thing, and it keeps being like, there's nobody to hand it off to. I have got no one on my team. So, but I think, I think that this is kind of where, pulling my team towards me so that, I do have people around me who do get it. And I think I was thinking about this morning too, because there's going to be so many more people who are just kind of waking up. And a lot of this stuff that I've talked about, because there's some people who have been listening to me for a while. And, I say stuff that's, obviously different than what some other people are saying. And I get that it's kind of seems wacky. And I just, I know there's a lot of people out there and they all think that their thing is right. And that's why you got to go with what resonates with you. But I feel like, all of this is about consciousness. This is all about this transition into the new age. And all of this is released, and this is all about healing and everything. And I think that the people who have been watching me for a long time, I think that that is because you're going to probably be helping some people. Because I think there's a lot of people who just are going to, they just don't understand yet what this is all about. And, they're just trying to struggle and trying to figure it out and trying to survive through this mess. And it is all going to be about, endurance and resilience. But just remember, whatever happens, it was always going to happen that way. So, if your friend dies, just don't, be sad, feel your emotions, process it and all that stuff. Don't get into like, oh my God, they got it and now I'm going to die and all of that stuff. Don't get into those kinds of things because you really don't know what was going on inside of their mind. You don't know what their contract thing, you don't know any of their stuff. And you have to keep strong in your own self and know, you're not going to get sick and die unless that is what was supposed to happen. And if it was supposed to happen, it was because you were done here being this person and you are going to transition. And whether you are going to stay the same person and go be with these same people when they transition to the new earth, like, I don't know how this is all going to go. But you just put this stuff together, like where the Bible says the walk, the it's stuck here, the alive and the dead will walk on earth again together in heaven or something. I don't know, some kind of thing with their translation. But I just think that in other things that I've heard about, that there is a lot of stuff about where they're saying that people who are transitioning are going to the new earth. So I don't know. There's lots of channelers out there, and there's a lot of people who, are they better at than me? I don't know. They can tap into certain energies or individuals. I'm kind of more just like, whoever's talking, I'm listening. I don't like, what's your name? Where's your ID card? And who are you? And what is your information? I'm just but I've always been this way. Like, they've always been out there talking to me. So I'm always talking to them and they're always talking to me. But some people are able to direct their channeling and talk to certain. Still, you're not going back out now. You just came in. That direct their information, like they, and I don't know. I don't know. There's lots of information out there. You just got to go out and you got to see what resonates with you. And, it's going to be wherever you're at and your understanding, because everybody understands things differently. And everything is going to be at your level. Just like there's tons of stations on the radio. You can, tune it in. It's like all of that frequency is out there. And you will find where you align if you go and you start searching. So anyways, that's a lot of talking again. And there might be some more stuff that I don't know. Maybe I'll come back on and talk some more. Oh, because I did want to, there was something, because I was thinking about, I think I was thinking about signs and stuff. I don't know. My mind's all over the place. But I was thinking about signs or something. And I have this whole wall of stars. What was it? It was something about stars in alignment or something. It made me start thinking about this. And I have this wall that I've got all these stars I've been collecting, creating my own little galaxy wall. And when I went to the thrift store the last time, there was a whole bunch. It was weird. It was like this total score. So I got all these and I lined them up, and on this, like, they just seemed to fit perfect, right? And they kind of trailed or something. And then I went in and I was watching Serendipity, and I kept noticing the stars lining up. And I just feel like that's what we're going into right now. I feel like the signs are all around us and the stars are lining up. And I think that we're heading for a much better time. And you know, so it is kind of like a buckle up, but just remember to just keep working on you. Just that is, I see that all around me. It's just the most important thing is just really keep present in life and just, you know, stay present in how you're feeling and really work on you, really face yourself and work on yourself. And, you know, you're gonna see the benefits, I promise. So okay, well, have a great day. I'll just keep rambling because I got nothing to do. Well, I'm still crocheting. I got that to do. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.